Hello guys, first of all I welcome you all to this interview question series. We are seeing some of the important questions related to Python, and we already completed the 7 sets regarding the Python interview question, and in the last set we started with the coding questions and we are continuing with that trend into this set as well. Clear? So let's get started with the today's session, and the first question is we want to find the sum of the digit using the Python program. So the thing is that what is my sum of digit? Let's suppose if I have a number 1 2 3, so I wanted to compute their sum of their digit, means what? 1 plus 2 plus 3. So at the end I am getting some 6 as a result. So how can you do that? So there are many approaches. We will discuss the two approaches. Based on the condition you can employ anything in your interview room. So what I'm trying to do is this. Let me just first take the user input here. Okay, first take the user input, and let me just take the input function directly and make some message, enter some number. Okay, this is my number I want, and let me just take one number here, 1 2 3 1 2 3, right? So another thing is that let me just take one variable here, total, initialize one variable total underscore, which is equals to 0. So I am initializing one variable which towards the final sum, and let's just employ for loop for every I in user input I have, right? And then we can just compute something like total underscore plus equals, and just convert it into the int, and let me just print those results as well. So let me just see what are the things are there. Print total, and if I just print the total, I am getting the 6. So the fundamental understanding with respect to this question is that input will return string representation, so that it is an iterable object, and as it is a iterable object we can employ this approach. But what if they given you a number in the int format, not in the string format? So let's suppose user given the number into the integer format. So let me just take the user input. So it's our second approach. Let me just take the input from the user which is into the integer format, enter some number. Okay, and let me just try to execute this thing, and let me just try this number 1 2 3 again. Right now this number is of int type, return type is int. Okay, return type is int. So what I'm trying to do is that, so I am employing another approach here. So another approach, let me just take the total variable to initialize this into the 0, and I'm saying that while the user input is greater than 0, then let me just take in the while loop, let me find some last number. So last number is this, last number is equals to user input, so whatever the number user have given divided by 10. Okay, and return their remainder. That's how we can get the last number. And let me just take the total underscore plus equals that last number which I am get, so last number, and after that just reset the user input is equals to user input and floor division 10 we have. So let me just execute this thing, and let me print the total. I have. Clear? So this is how we can just get the gist of it. So this is the another approach we can employ to compute the sum of digit. Clear? So let's move forward with the other question we have. 7th question, sum of the digit of a number using recursion. Let's suppose they said you explicitly that you have to use the recursion, to compute the sum. So how can I do that? So let me first take the user input I have, which is of a int type directly, and then we put input here, input function, and print some message for the user, enter some number, right? So let me just execute that code. Say let me take one input here. Okay, the input is now here. Let me just take one function here, def, and then take digit sum as their name and pass a number here. Okay, let me first check if number is less than 10. If it is the case, then return the number. If it is not, else then return what I wanted to return, number divided by 10 plus, I am just calling that function again, digit sum of number lower division 10i. Clear? So I'm just calling that function. This is the whole idea of recursion. This is the whole idea of recursion I have. Let me just create dot function. The function is created. Let me just initialize that function and calling the function. So digit sum I have. I am passing the user input to that function, and let me just again print the whatever the result I got. Clear? So let me execute that. So call is successful. Let me just see some of the result. I am getting 6 again. Clear, guys? So this is how we can employ the recursion approach as well. Clear? So we have seen the 3 approach for the same question, sum of digit. If they haven't specified anything, then you can just go ahead and assume something and just convey the thing with respect to the interviewer, so that they will know how you think with respect to that. Clear? And if they say use recursions or the input is in the integer format, then you can employ the different approach. Clear, guys? Next, let's move forward with the other questions. So the sum of the numbers using lambda functions. So if I given a list of numbers to you, then I have to compute their sum. So, and they specifically told you that you have to employ the lambda function here. You have to employ the lambda function. So what I'm trying to do is that, let me just go here again and create the list of numbers. So let me just create the list of number using the list comprehension. For every I in range, let's suppose 1 to 10, let me just take that I into the list. Okay, so this is the list I have created right now, and I wanted to compute the sum. So the output you will get something like this one. So if I just comment this out, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. Clear? So this is the output you will get. And let me just take one stuff here. So I want to import something. So from func tool, import reduce, right? Import reduce. So the import is successful. Let me just take the sum underscore as a variable and take the reduce function, employ the reduce function, lambda x comma y, and let me just take their sum and pass the iterable object. I have, and I'm just printing the sum underscore. So let me execute this thing right now, and let me again execute this thing. I'm getting the 45, which is the correct. Clear? So first 10 natural numbers are to compute the sum of it. Clear? This is how we can employ the lambda function to compute the sum of list of numbers. Clear? Next question we have for the day: Python program to count the number of digit in the number. Okay, Python program to count the number of digit in the number. First of all, let me just take the user input. Okay, user input is equal to input of enter some number, so user input something like that: 1 2 2 3 3 3 4 4 4. This is the thing I have. So you can have a various approaches to doing the stuff. So what I'm trying to do is that I'm just using the default libraries from the Python. So what I'm trying to do is that from collection import counter. Okay, import counter, and what I'm trying to do is that let me just take the result here. Res is equals to dict of counter of, I'm just passing the user input. Okay, just passing the user input here, and let me print the result I got. Let me print the result I got, and I seen some of the stuff. So 1 appear 1 times, 2 appear 2 times, 3 appear 3 times, and 4 appear 4 times here. Clear? So this is how we can just get the inbuilt library like collections and counter to get the repetitions, how many times the number is repeated into the given number. Clear? Okay, so we will move forward with the final question we have. Okay, the final question for the session: Python program to find all the factors in a positive number. Okay, what is my factors? Means that the number is divisible by which number. Let's suppose I am taking 10. So how many numbers are there which are divisible by 10? Okay, so let me just take user input. Okay, and let me just take the customized message for that as well. Enter some number. Okay, the number is here, guys. So what I'm thinking is that let me take 10 here. Okay, the number is here right now. So what I'm trying to do is that let me just take one for loop and iterate over it. Okay, so for every I in range 2 to number plus 1, right? Number plus 1. So here is number is something like user input I have, right? Number plus 1, and I'm checking if user input, which is number I have, if number is divisible by I. If it is the case, then it should return the 0 as a remainder. Let me just print those numbers. Let me just print those number. Clear? If I just execute this thing, I am getting 2, 5 and 10, which is a correct output. Clear? There are many cases involved in that question. Means what? You have to explicitly check if it is a number is 0 or 1 or 2, or if the number is something like negative or that. You can employ various condition into that questions. We will dig into that various corner cases. Okay, you can just try out that various corner cases. You can try out make the functions as well. We will cover all of these into the next session if possible. Clear? So that's it for this session right now. We will meet in the next sessions with the more interview coding questions. Till then, have a nice day.